Now, sometimes I'll call this the North Athabasca Ocean. If you look really closely off to either side, you might actually see the same piece of wood that rose told Jack to never let go of it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, nice and clean. That's exactly what I like to see. Now, of course, the reason that we go for our tire wash, we don't want to. out there on the glacier today. Now, if you couldn't tell by the winter conditions we are having, winter has started to sweep its way here through the Rocky Mountains. Our nights are getting longer and colder. All of our greenery is starting to turn that yellowy orange color, and of course we're starting to get a lot more snow. Now today is our first real snowfall day that we've had out here this season. We've had a couple of days last week where we had a little bit of snow overnight, but having snow consistently falling throughout the day, this is probably a first for the season. And I think it gives these surrounding mountains an area of very charming Rocky Mountain look, exactly what you would expect to see here in the Great White North. Now our weather does change very quickly out here, as our Columbia Icefield creates what we call a microclimate. All that cold ice on top of the ice field is the beginning of how nasty you can get out there. How would everybody like to go camping on the glacier? Yeah, that doesn't seem too exciting. You'll get cold feet more way than one, trust me. But back in the late 1800s, there was a gentleman by the name of Norman Colley who actually did camp out here on the Athabasca Glacier, who in his search was the first person to summit 21 mountains here in the Rockies, and he named a total of 30 of them as well. Now he did end up finding both Mount Hooker and Mount Brown, but what he found was a little bit disappointing, as they were not only not as tall as Mount Everest, but they were only about half the size. But one of the mountains that Norman Colley did find, summit, and name during his search can be seen just to our right-hand side, and that is Mount Athabasca. And when he got to the top of Mount Athabasca, he was stunned. What he saw, in his own words, was a new world spread out at his feet. He was referring to the Columbia Icefield and the Athabasca Glacier. So immediately him and his team decided to get quite a bit colder. Today we were experiencing temperatures around -4 degrees Celsius, about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas back in the late 1800s, it was not uncommon for temperatures to drop below -65 degrees Celsius, about -85 Fahrenheit, not including the wind chill. The glacier itself also used to be a very different size, expanding all the way past where our Discovery Center currently is for a total length of about 8 kilometers or 5 miles, where today it's only just shy of 5 kilometers or about 3.5 miles long. The depth and height of the glacier as well also used to be much greater, but where we were standing today on the turnaround point, there was still a depth of solid ice below our feet of about 200 meters, just north of 600 feet of solid ice. That's the same height as Big Ben in London, England. That sounds pretty good, what do we think? Just gotta get Parks Canada on my side for that one. Now, neither lake existed before the glacier began its retreat. That forest has been there for just about 18 to 20,000 years. Some of the trees in that forest can range up to 700 to 800 years old, so quite an incredible little feature. So with all that information in mind, we do everything in our power here to limit the impact we have on the glacier. A great example is something like our tire wash. Just by being mindful to not cause any additional harm to the glacier's surface, even